From time to time, we will get albums like this, ones you did not know were out there and you did not expect for me to review. This one had a lot of things calling to my attention. And now, I get to review it. Welcome back to Y.E.S, everyone. Today we are talking about Night of Long Knives, the debut album released by GrisVer. GrisVer is a musician based originally out of Malawi, if I'm not mistaken, and he is trying to get his foot in the door in music, and wow, is there a lot of ambition with the type of music he's trying to get out there. I looked at some of his background, and apparently he's been doing a lot of different music collaborations in the past, and this is his solo project. He's released some EPs previously before this, but this is his album that he is releasing, and boy, where to start? Oh, there's so much we could talk about. I'll start off by saying that it appears that he has marketed this as an EDM project for the most part. And while I would agree production-wise that is true, there is way more to this than just electric and dance elements. Try to imagine this as EDM combined with the elements of medieval knights. And every once in a while, you're going to sprinkle traditional pop elements, a very small pinch of reggae, and even throw in a couple of hip-hop jams in there. That's what you get with this album. Confused yet? Wait, there's more. He has a whole slew of other talented vocalists, singers, producers, instrumentalists that are on this album. I can tell what are the main elements that he is contributing or that he is able to control in this album. And then he just happens to get a lot of other people that help add their elements to the songs individually. Now, with such a interesting, detailed, and complex concept of an album, what do I think of it overall? There's so much I like about this album, and so much also about this album that if I tell you to go listen to it, you will come back and say, that also perplexed me a little bit. What do I mean by that? Production-wise, I'm talking mostly about the composition. I love the composition that he has created in this album. The actual execution of the production, there is a little bit of a mix in maybe the dynamics in here. And I would love for it to just be me and to think that something went wrong with my mind, but I don't think that's the case because I've listened to his music both from YouTube and Spotify, and they both sound pretty similar. It sounds like oftentimes when he is trying to increase or decrease the dynamics in songs, it feels choppy. Not always, but in moments where it feels kind of important. It feels like all of a sudden they just kind of get big. It doesn't feel very subtle or that it really leads into it super well. That is probably my biggest legitimate music critique that I have. The other critique that I would have that is personal, and I do think it's more objective than subjective, but I know a lot of people will disagree with me on this, is that his inclusions for his hip-hop songs are, lyrically speaking, they just don't flow the way that I would prefer them to go. But I know a lot of people just aren't going to agree or even care about what I have to say when it comes to that. But I do stand by what I believe in. Taking out those two comments right there, what about everything else? I think that this is a really cool concept of an album, and I'm trying to figure out if this is what he thinks he's going to do moving forward in the future, because if it's a one-and-done concept with the medieval knights kind of thing, that's really cool. If that's what he wants to continue doing, wow, you better, rise it up, because this was already a cool idea, and if you're going to continue on that process, I welcome it. I just really challenge GrisVer to be able to introduce something bigger and bigger and bigger, expand it even more. Like, I really like this concept, and I hope that he's able to deliver it moving forward. But let's get back to this album. What songs do I like on this album? The first song I think I'm just naturally going to want to highlight is A Sea of Promises. This has more of that EDM pop combination here. It's something that I feel like a lot of other people would instantly think, oh, well, that has a catchy tune to it. Let me give it a whole listen. Also, the song Written in the Stars is more of an acoustic-oriented song. Very surprising. Also, something I really should highlight, he has a lot of interludes in here. That is usually something I do not care about, and actually I find a way to really reduce points per se in a lot of albums when they do this, because most of the times the concept just doesn't stick throughout the album. This album, however, does it super well, and these interludes are a great way to transition one song to another, or one chapter, one section of the CD to another. So I think he pulls it off really well. And the one interlude that I would highlight is Knight-mare. Now, I did talk about my feelings toward the hip-hop oriented songs in here and what my quarrels with them are, but I still would like to throw in some positive things about them, just because there are, in fact, positive things about them. The vocal delivery, keyword, vocal delivery, not the lyrics, for the song Cutthroat are really cool by the artist. That almost has like a Tech 9 style. I really liked kind of the delivery here. Also, the song Conquer, the actual production for this song is great. Everything else is kind of up in the air on how I feel about it, but the actual production, this is the one where I'm like, you did a terrific job here, GrisVer. And I could go on and on and on about all the cool things I thought that this album did, but it's definitely going to be one of those things where it's something you're going to have to experience, and I'm not just saying that just to pass it along to you. I'm saying that because, as I mentioned before, there are some production things that, in my opinion, feel a little incomplete. Like, you can look past that if you're in the zone with this album, but I would say that there are things that maybe others might pick on with their own ears, and you're going to have to decide that for yourself, what you think of it. But overall, GrisVer, I think, is on the right path here, and I want to see what else he's going to do in the future, and if there are other things that he needs to use in order to make the sound even more smooth and immaculate, I welcome that, and I really encourage it. So, after having listened and reviewed this album with the following grades for the following categories here, how would I recommend this album? I am going to give it a good. If you polish a couple of things out, this album definitely could have gotten a higher recommendation, but all the same, I do want anyone here who does see this review to check it out. You are not going to hear anything like this in a very, very positive way. I need to say that. This is very, very innovative, and you should definitely check it out for yourself. Worth your while. See what you take from it, what you like, maybe what you don't, or if you love the whole thing, that's cool too. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow me in my social media links down in the description below, and insert cool call to action graphics right here. Make sure you follow all of these, where you can come back here to discover, promote, and review the best in entertainment, culture, and lifestyle, while not forgetting quality, values, and fun. And above all, get that yes in your life. See you next time.